West Coast finds, Mazzy's vinyl finds, new finds, VCLT, back from the road trip. If you haven't watched Whack-A-Mole number 70, I advise you to do so. Now, pay attention, please, because there's been some discussion that my son Joseph Mazzy Jr. doesn't know about any of the albums we're talking about. If you pay attention closely, you'll know what that's all about. So, and also you should look about it. Since some of you haven't been able to get away, you've maybe been locked down for months and haven't made a road trip, the beautiful coastline of California, Oregon, and Washington is just one of my very favorite things to do. And I drove my son down from Seattle, I-5 quickly. We wanted to do it in one day for whatever friggin' reason on I-5. And it took 12 to 13 hours, including a stop at In-N-Out Burger. And stayed in Mill Valley, California with some, visiting some friends there. Went up the coast on Highway 101 to Eureka, saw my half-brother and my aunt. That's a whole other story if you haven't followed me before. I just found out who my half-brother was just shy of 3 years ago. Then I drove through Grants Pass into the beautiful, excuse me, California redwoods and fir trees, and it's just a gorgeous place. It's a magical place. I think I said magical and gorgeous and stunning too many times. So I picked up the records there. Also, when I got back on my table here, there was literally a stack of boxes of everything from eBay to pre-ordered Discogs, things that go back months that I've ordered. So anyway, first, I just opened this. I got VCLT from Trish, DJ Trish, and I haven't even opened or read it yet. Oh, Beach Time. Oh, this is perfect. Beach Time 2021 and 2. Trish makes the greatest CD comps. Thank you, Trish. I'll read the letter. Bay Head Cheese Shop and Bottle Shop too. Hey Mazzy, here's some summer mixes to groove to when you have friends over or a barbecue. Imagine you're on the beach with your cocktail of choice. Peace and love and music, Trish. You're so sweet, Trish. I love this stuff. I wish I had this for the road trip when I was driving down, but now I have it, and it's summertime here in Seattle with all the other crazy stuff going on. Anyway, I'm gonna try to go through these pretty quickly. First of all, the new Bob Dylan album, oh my God. If you don't like his new craggly voice, stay away, but it's been getting 5-star reviews everywhere. It's got 2 discs. The second disc is the 18-minute epic, Murder Most Foul. Some say it's the best album in decades. I like the crooner Sinatra type songbook albums a lot. And I like Tempest. Watch the Dylan video that David and I did, because we cover the whole catalog for the most part, but we do show our favorites of the moment. We did a little dingy when we pulled out a favorite. We go through almost everything, but this is a stunner. Only on CD, came out just yesterday. Today is June 20th, I believe, 2020. The vinyl comes out in July, so no vinyl yet. An amazing epic. I only played it once through so far, so we'll talk about that. But because of that video, I picked up some Dylan. I realized there were 2 Dylan. I'm a kind of a Dylan completist. I have everything on CD. The 2 Dylan albums that I didn't have on vinyl are these 2. Oh Mercy and Under the Red Sky. I'd say this is not a great album. Don was produced it. Sorry, Don. I don't care for it that much. This, I didn't give high marks when we were going through it, and I re-listened to it again a few times since on CD. I had it in the car during my trip, and this is one of 2 albums I believe Daniel Lanois produced, and it's great. It's probably it's 89, so it really kind of redeemed some of his 80s, bad 80s records, but this is a good record. Political World, Where Teardrops Fall, Man in the Long Black Coat, Everything is Broken. Anyway, Bob Dylan, and then I indulged myself. I ordered it, and it took me a long time to track this down because it's out of print for the time being, at least. I don't get all the Mo-Fis. This is a 45 Mo-Fi of my favorite Dylan album, Blonde on Blonde. So I'm not buying all these. I think I have 3 or 4 Dylan Mo-Fi 45s mono, and this is one of them. And it's really great, but it's kind of hard to get. It's a box set and hard to get. All right, a couple other CDs before we start. Actually, we have started, haven't we? Oh, by the way, in the background, I'm playing West Coast Jazz. Jerry Mulligan and Chet Baker, box set I've had for years on Pacific Jazz label reissue. Really great record. The West Coast Jazz, not so shoddy. I know everyone jumps on the Blue Note and Verb bandwagon and Impulse, but that's great stuff too. A friend of mine, actually the husband of one of my best friends in San Francisco, we've been talking about Music Matters Jazz, and he's a jazz guy, but he says I should check this out. And I bought this on Bandcamp. I haven't listened to it yet. It's Miles Okazaki, solo guitar. And he's doing the complete compositions of Thelonious Monk. I don't know how he can do the complete. This is what, 3 CDs? 4 CDs. All compositions by Thelonious Monk. Beautiful package. CD. Got it through his website, through Bandcamp. But my friend David, I don't think David watches this stuff. I don't know if he knows I have a YouTube channel. But he suggested this. And there's certain people that I know, like personal friends, that when they suggest something, I'll just check it out. I think it was like $40, and it's 4 CDs, or one of those things you can donate. You can pay what you want within a reason, minimal amount. But something to check out. I'll let you know later how it is. And then and this is where I really feel bad. I can't remember who showed this, and it took me a shitload of time to track this down. It's a box set, Manchester, north of England, and this is on Cherry Red, that does great UK imported box sets and vintage stuff mostly. And to Rob Walker, and when we did our mutual Manchester thing, this will get me a little deeper into some tracks, but it's got, everyone you could imagine. Oh my God. Anyway, look it up. It's called Manchester, North of England, A Story of Independent Music, Greater Manchester, 1977 and 1993, so I'll be able to fill in some of the other music from Manchester that I don't have. Okay, vinyl. Some of these I got for a few used, before that, since I showed the Dylan stuff, I did, I've been trying to beef up some of those reissues that have come out that I don't have on vinyl. Bruce Springsteen. I am a Bruce Springsteen fan. So I got Devils and Dust and The Rising. I like these records. I haven't listened to the reissues. I hear they sound pretty good. And one I decided I'm gonna not keep, only because I tried twice, and Amazon's pretty good. I have luck with Amazon. I know people bitch about packaging and sometimes, but look, okay. Some people say this is his worst album. Tell me what you think. I have it on CD. I got to play it again. I've tried twice. It arrived twice like this. Well, what does that mean? Well, open, bent. But you know what's even better or worse? They put the friggin' sticker right on the record. No box, no packaging. So I ordered for replacement, returned it. And the second one came the same way while I was gone. Just right on there. So I'm returning it, getting my money back. Got my Amazon return label all ready to go, already. Okay. Posthumous album, Expression, John Coltrane on Impulse. This is an OG. I've never heard this one, but I have the music on CD. So I haven't heard the vinyl version of what I'm saying. So, checking that out. Any Coltrane I pick up. Just like Dave, Local Bandography, he picks everything up. White label promo. I used to have this record years ago, before I got rid of certain records, and it's kind of a nice record. Chick Corea and Herbie Hancock, both amazing piano players, doing solo. On one side they do Someday My Prince Will Come, obviously the Disney tune that Miles Davis did. Maiden Voyage is on here, and La Fiesta, so it has songs of Chick Corea and songs of Herbie Hancock. So I haven't heard that in years, but white label promo, pristine shape. Gil Scott-Heron and Brian Jackson. I used to have this record again. I found it actually pretty cheap, so I grabbed this. This is a reissue that just came out. I never had it. And this is the old Wailers before they became Bob Marley and the Wailers. And this is featuring You, Roy, My Cup Runneth Over with Buddy Wailer and Peter Tosh. Originally produced by Lee Scratch Perry. Remixed and reimagined with Dr. Dread. Interesting, a little kind of hip-hop fusion mix of reggae and hip-hop and rap and kind of interesting. Good stoner record. I think any reggae record's a good stoner record. Not that I really do that very much, but got this cheap. This was a reissue from, was it Sundays? No, it's EMI. I'm a big, oh, this is Sundays, yeah. Manfred Mann, I'm a big fan of Manfred Mann, early stuff I love Pretty Flamingo. I love their version of, they did the first version of The Mighty Quinn when Dylan was doing all the stuff for the Basement tapes, all those songs that he sent out to publishers, to his publisher to really send out for artists to do, and Manfred Mann did one of the songs. It does a version of here of My Little Red Book from What's New Pussycat, and I always get confused because they did a version, Love does a version, and I remember that song was written by Hal David and Burt Bacharach, and what I remember them saying, he hated the Love version. And I can't remember if he meant the Love version or the Manfred Mann version. It's totally different than what he intended it to, and they used it, I guess, in the beginning or the end of What's New, obviously the end of What's New Pussycat, or in the middle of it, because the Tom Jones song opens the movie. But I love this stuff. This is when they were more of kind of an R&B, garagey type of British band, but Manfred Mann, cool record. Has a cover of Dylan's With God on Our Side, so Dylan's everywhere these days. Dylan's always everywhere. Anyway, a lot of covers, a lot of rock and roll standards of the 60s rock and roll standards period, Manfred Mann. You know, I've never heard this, but I had to get it. All you psych people show it, and I know it's not exactly normal psychedelic. It's really a David Axelrod project, who was a composer, arranger. This is Electric Prunes doing Release of the Oath of Electric Prunes. And what it is, it's really him using them as sort of the artist to promote his own work. His albums are really interesting and really wonderful in terms of mood, atmosphere, a very soundtracky type of late 60s, early 70s type of thing. This is somewhat conceptual, based on the Kol Nidra. The Kol Nidra is a Jewish prayer. It's actually more like a story used as a prayer, and it's how you kind of start off Yom Kippur, which is the holiest day of the year in Jewish tradition, where you remember the dead, people have passed on, and you atone your sins. So every Kol Nidra, every Yom Kippur, maybe I'll play this record. So I'm excited about that. I know it's been around forever. This is a recent, very recent, 1,000 copies. I'm not usually a big colored vinyl enthusiast. I mean, I don't go for it just because of the color. That's pretty lovely. That's pretty psychedelic on reprise. So there you go. Now, I've always loved this compact disc and this movie, Wes Anderson film. And this is Sui Jorge Studio Sessions. This is where A Life Aquatic, the Wes Anderson film, where he does all these David Bowie covers. And it's very intimate, folky, African versions of 5 Years, Rebel Rebel, Life on Mars, Starman. Now, I was putting this on Discogs. I found it at Music Millennium in Portland on my way back, and they had like 3 copies there, and this guy behind me grabbed one too. It wasn't cheap, but it's a 2-record set, about 28 bucks, so I guess that's fine. I put it on Discogs, and it might be a gray market unofficial release. It might be a sort of European thing, so it says limited edition. I haven't listened to it yet. Hopefully it sounds good, because I love this music. If you haven't heard this in any format, you need to hear this. It's just beautiful. If you've seen the movie, you've heard the music. It's all through The Life Aquatic. So we'll see. A record that the archivist keeps playing for me on her hard drive or on her phone. And I know the music, and it's just one I haven't seen again. I thought it was out of print. It only came out 4 years ago. but this John Prine record. So I know it. I have it on a digital version of it, but it didn't have John Prine's For Better or Worse. So I picked this up also in Portland at Millennium Music Millennium. This is a record, for some reason the last year, I just never picked it up. Orville Peck. Love this record, and I've heard it so much. You know how sometimes you hear something so much, you just don't grab it for whatever reason? When this album came out, he did an in-store at Easy Street Records, and I went with some friends, so I saw him live at Easy Street, and he is so great. He's the gay caballero, the gay cowboy. Wears this mask. Before, it was hip wearing masks, except I think his fringe might need to kind of be covered a little more for his mouth. Now we're all wearing masks, but this is his identity. He's got the voice of a mix between Roy Orbison and Chris Isaak, and country cowpunk, but melodic, but really, really good, really great live. And I think this is one of the most beautiful album covers of last year. So, Orville Peck, Pony. And I like to support these artists. I follow him on Instagram. He's been doing some live concerts and talks, and it's pretty great. This is my favorite Cat Power record. This has been really hard to get. It hasn't been reissued since 2007, I think. And this is a copy. This is a Kevin Gray cut, and I found it used in Arcata, California, which is near Eureka when I was coming up the coast going into the Redwoods, and love this record. I know it really well, but I've never had a vinyl version. And I'm going to end up with two new releases. Whatever you guys think, I tell you, one of the greatest singers is Norah Jones. I would say Norah Jones single-handedly saved Blue Note Records in around, 2002 when that first album, Come Fly With Me, came out. Maybe over the top, overplayed. All her catalog is really gorgeous piano playing. She is one of the daughters of Ravi Shankar, and a little jazzy, but she's done some indie, folk, Americana stuff. She does the ingenue thing, and just beautiful, beautiful music. Norah Jones, I'm looking forward to this because I think all her records are great. I have the great Analog Productions box set, which is amongst my favorite. And they're great sounding records, really well recorded. But again, this is on Blue Note Records, I believe. Yep, Blue Note Records. So it's not the normal Blue Note that we all know, but you know, they need to sell records to support all these jazz reissues we love to get. And lastly, everyone's showing this right now, Homegrown Neil Young. I haven't even spun this yet. This just was in one of the boxes when I got home last night. Love Neil Young. This was the unreleased record, more or less, that he was going to put out after Harvest, which he never did. Beautiful indie version. The indie version, I got it from my local, shipped to me overnight as a cover, slick, so you can hang it up, put it in your bathroom, put it in your barn, if you have a barn, put it anywhere. Neil Young. So, Neil Young, from the Neil Young Archives, Homegrown. Mazzy loves you. Please subscribe. It won't cost you anything, and you don't have to even click the bell to get emails. You don't want, me waking you up at 3 in the morning telling you I have a new video. But subscribe. Only half my viewers are subscribers, and if you want to skip something, skip something. But thank you again. I had a great trip coming up the coast, and God, 70 whack-a-moles already. Where's the time gone? Anyway, take care. Wear a mask when you go into a business and somewhere else. I'm serious. That stuff's real shit. I wore a mask the whole time when I'd go in anywhere. And even though some places are opening up too soon with these friggin' crowds, it's real deal. Anyway, Mazzy loves you, and I really appreciate everyone watching. And thanks, Trish, and thank you, vinyl community. I forgot 3 records. Fretboard Convention, I found a used copy of this on Island Records. What we did on our holiday. It's kind of what I did. I drove up the coast. Turning Point, I haven't had this record in years. I know the record. I have a compact disc of it. Very clean copy, $10. Thought it was great price. Super clean. John Mayall. And this is Reggae Music Volume 2. If you ever see these comps, I got this for $4. Whatever price, up to 10 maybe. the yellow one and this one are just great overview reggae comps on Island Records from the 70s. So, Mazzy loves you, and this is reggae music.